What's up, everyone? It's episode 13 of the Millennial Hipsters. We're back at it again every week. It's Thursday. Okay, how y'all feeling? Is everyone feeling good?
Yeah, we're good. We're all here. Toronto, stand up.
Stand up, Toronto. It's me, V. We got Boofmatic in the house. We got Jam, Insta Jam.
Hey!
However you want to call him, by his government or by his Insta Jam name. And then we got John D, John David.
John.
No one knows what his Instagram name is this week. Check him out.
Ibaka not nice.
Ibaka not nice, folks.
Follow him this week if you could get a chance. Before he switches.
Before he switches his name, he's gone for good. Tons of stuff happened in the past week.
Too much stuff.
Too much shit. Too much.
Yeah.
Some good shit, some bad shit, good news, bad news. We're gonna keep it rocking for you guys. You tuned in to stay informed, so here we are, man. Listen, we hate to keep a somber mood on this podcast, but I think that, listen, you've been living under a bubble if you haven't heard about this, or if you're not a native Toronto resident. The tragedy that happened down at Yonge and Finch a couple days ago, it's affected a lot of people in Toronto, whether or not they were victims, whether or not they were witnesses. It's been booming on the news. It's been booming in the media. It's been booming worldwide, everywhere. Not just Toronto news. It was in the New York Times. It was on CNN. BBC was covering it. It was all over Facebook, all social media.
It's made global headlines.
Yeah, man. It made global headlines. And if you don't know, then we're talking about the culprit who was in a van and killed 10 people, and I believe he injured 15 others down at Yonge and Finch. Tragic. Absolutely tragic. And this podcast in particular stands in solidarity with the victims and with the rest of the city. And I personally don't believe, I didn't say this to anyone in pre-production, but I don't believe in actually saying the suspect's name. You know what I mean? Because his name is everywhere, and I just don't believe that we should be giving that person clout, right?
Yeah,
for lack of a better term.
Which is what the media is doing.
Right. Mm-hmm. And as it always does, and I that's how the media's got to blow it up.
They got to get numbers, man.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, I think when things like this happen, it's only natural for the city to come together and kind of express unity. But then there are also some things that happen in the media as kind of a phenomena that are questionable, and we'll get into those things, and we want to kind of discuss everything surrounding this whole tragedy by Yonge and Finch. It's claimed victims, and the suspect is now detained. He's in prison, and he's awaiting his court date. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure we all have strong opinions on this, and I personally want to talk about how the media kind of blew it up, and how the media is taking its own interpretive spin on it. But before we get into that, I kind of wanted to shoot it to one of y'all. If you guys have anything else to say about it.
I would say, it's just really weird that it happened in Toronto. You'd never expect this kind of thing to happen here. Maybe in the States, maybe in Europe. But yeah, it just hits close to home. Yonge and Finch is an area that probably a lot of us traverse. If you ever been to Finch Station, you're always around there when you used to take the bus, take TTC. Just to know that it happened that close to home is really messed up.
Yeah, for sure. I think I can agree. Because it's so close to home, it's in Toronto. You almost don't believe that it happened here. I think witnesses, when they saw the standoff with the suspect and the police, it's almost like they didn't believe that something this serious was happening. There's actually footage of the officer who's now being labeled as a hero, which I couldn't agree with more. Yeah. Who confronted the suspect as he got out of the car, and the suspect was egging him on to shoot him, because clearly I think the suspect wanted to run a suicide by cop, essentially.
Yep.
And it's kind of crazy, because when you look at the footage of the standoff between the suspect and the cop, you see people walking in the background.
Yeah,
nothing's going on.
Nothing's going on, casually, they don't even know.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they realize and then they start like kind of like jogging away.
They do the fake jog away.
Right, they do the fake jog.
Yeah,
Crazy.
exactly.
Um,
Well, yeah, I mean, this is a crazy story. When I heard this happen on, when was this, Monday or Tuesday? Something like that, Monday. It was a weird Monday.
I think
it was Monday.
Yeah,
no,
it
was
was
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
It was Tuesday. I can't
Something like that.
pinpoint
It was very early in the week, and it was just very shocking to hear this happen. And you know, once again, condolences to all the families out there that were a victim to this heinous act of terror, because I believe it's terrorism. And, you know, Toronto, or, you know, just Canada as a whole, does not really see this type of stuff happen. And, you know, it's a big shock to our systems, and it kind of has everybody thinking about living in our country, right? Like, everybody says that, oh yeah, Canada's like, you know, who would hurt Canada? Like, Canada's, everyone loves Canada, right? But obviously, you know, we're not exempt to, you know, terror
Things
and
like
like, you know, and events like this. So, you know, it's very tragic, very sad. But I'm glad they caught the guy, because, you know, he's a fucker, and he shouldn't have did what he did. Obviously, he's mentally challenged or something like that. Who knows?
But
Actually, no. His story is pretty fucking.
I don't know if you can
Pretty
classify
cringy, actually.
this as
But,
terrorism, because he wasn't politically or religiously driven. I mean, he did create terror, but what is the definition of terrorism?
Yeah,
Right.
But I mean, I think there's different sects of terrorism, right? There's like what everybody thinks about as terrorism. There's national terrorism, right? You're doing it for your country or your religion or whatever, right?
Or your political beliefs.
Or your political beliefs. I would think that this is still an act of terror because he lashed out at a specific group, right? And he's part of a specific group, is what we found out. Like, you know, he was part of some type of internet group against women, and just like a misogynist group who was out to just create havoc, right? So, like, I would place him under, like, you know, societal terrorism, if that's even a term, right? But that's just my opinion. Yeah.
Def, I think it's important. I mean, listen, in terms of how the media digests these things and how they're reporting on these things, I think that has a huge influence on how we interpret a lot of the things that happen in the city. And with regards to this, I was glued to the radio. I was glued to social media after this happened, and I noticed that, you know, the term terrorism was like being danced around. It was like, you know, they wanted to say it, but they didn't want to say it.
They didn't want to say it because they didn't know if it was a terrorist attack or not.
Right, and then it got listeners like me to kind of define. Okay, well, now I'm questioning if this isn't terrorism.
This is not terrorism.
Then how do you say that?
Why
do you say that?
Terrorism is always associated with religious or hate against the country or the political system, right? It's an attack on the system more than the people.
Yeah.
But this is just like an attack on the people.
Yeah. Well, that's why I say it's like there's a difference between national terrorism and, like, you know, terrorism, like, you know,
but
other types of terrorism.
I think the media doesn't want to use terrorism because, like, my definition of it is what most people's definition of it is.
Right.
Got some technical difficulties.
Bluetooth speaker fell down.
But no, we're gonna keep it rocking. I think, listen, the thing is, in the definition of terrorism, and I need to just get this out there, is, by Google, the unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially against civilians in the pursuit of political aims. Right?
Right. So, up to the political aims part, it's all good. Then as you say political aims, this doesn't classify as terrorism.
Well, I think, it's coming out now that the suspect was part of this group, which is called the involuntary celibates. And what they do is they derogate women for wanting to sleep with young, hip, heterosexual men.
Right.
Who the suspect actually, before he committed these crimes, came out on Facebook and said, "Death to all the Chads and Stacys." And what Chads are like these cool young guys
Who get all the girls.
who get all the girls, and the Stacys are the pretty girls who are like shallow.
Who are with the Chads.
Absolutely, right? And I think...
And are turning down...
And are
People
turning
like
down
them.
the recluses of society, are turning down the, the so-called losers of society, you know what I mean?
Let's break down that term, though, because even when I heard that term the first time, it took a while for it to sink in. Involuntary celibate.
Involuntary celibate. So you're not having sex and it's not your choice.
Yeah, so involuntarily you're celibate.
Pretty much.
That's true,
right?
It's
It's laughable. Definitely.
It's not an actual term. It's a stupid term that these, group of like internet. All right, I'm just gonna go off right now. Fuck
Yeah,
it.
pop.
We're being too fucking.
Like,
permanent.
no,
we're
pop,
like-
man.
Yeah,
We
I'm
want you
gonna
to
pop off right now. It's just like it's it's a term.
You had to crack a beer for
Yeah,
this.
so you need to crack a beer for this one.
It's a term these like internet fucking losers on 4chan and or even Reddit or wherever the fucking depths of the internet lie, they came up with because they felt like they're entitled to to certain women and like women to sleep with them and shit like that, and like they feel that they're just
Oh, shout out Sufugos in the
Just
studio,
entitled.
too. Yeah.
so yeah.
We do have. See, the thing is, there are different stances on it. So my whole thing is like, these involuntary celibates. It is this whole like they're backlashing against all the girls that never fuck them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
That's what it is, and they felt like losers. And I think that is a political aim. In my opinion, that is political, right? And to me, this guy could not be further from terrorism, in my personal opinion. But the thing is, what I see is that the media loves to give this terrorism label to suspects that do things like this when they're Muslim. Like, if they're Muslim, or they're Middle Eastern, or they have a beard, or they're brown, it's like, it's immediately terrorism. No doubt. Right? But because they weren't aware of his, like...
Yeah.
His appearance is kind of oblique. It's kind of vague. You can't tell his nationality just by looking at him, right? Maybe after you hear his name, maybe you can infer. But it's like that's why the media was like dancing around, like, oh, is this terrorism? Is this not terrorism?
But you know what? I get where John's coming from because the term terrorism has a certain definition to the masses, right?
Right.
And the media is like, sending this information out to the masses. As soon as you use terrorism, they're going to tie it to political, religious, and nationalism.
Right.
Right? They like, people don't care to open their minds to a different term,
Right.
once they're presented with the certain terms in the media, right?
But I'm saying, like, if this attack took place in America or Europe, it wouldn't be classified as terrorism because his motives or the reasons for the attack were not politically driven.
Wait,
They were politically driven though,
No.
to kill women, he was targeting women. Then he was
Was-
targeting women. He was targeting pretty young women who probably would never give him.
But this guy was running over grandmas and
I'm
shit.
over like everybody. But I mean, like,
That's in a crowd full of people. That's true. It's like what was.
But the thing is, like, in terror, when it comes to like terrorism, like national terrorism, people don't give a fuck who they bomb. They don't give a fuck who they kill. Like, it's the same thing. You're literally acting out like an act of terror to prove a point.
Yeah.
And this is what this guy did.
Yeah.
He ran over a bunch of people. He didn't give a fuck who it was, but he had a point to prove.
Yeah.
And that's how he tried to prove his point.
Right.
By killing innocents. And that's what terror is.
I think.
You know what I mean?
I think. Listen. I mean, we're obviously. I mean, we are arguing semantics, and I'm not saying that it's unproductive. It's definitely productive. Whatever it is, it was very tragic. But I will say that my whole stance on this is like, had this been a bearded, topi wearing, mosque goer in Muslim garb, they would have shot that terrorism term right in there.
No,
right
because there's
Guantanamo Bill Bay. Like, right?
No, because-
right in there. Like,
there's no reason
fucking-
for
like if his last
right
name was
there.
Ahmed
First
or
class
Ali, like they would be like,
If-
oh, he's a terrorist.
if it was in London or New York or somewhere in America, but if that Muslim man with a beard did that in Toronto, I would not think it was terrorism because he has no reason to attack Toronto.
Sure. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, of course, me personally, I mean, but I'm saying like the media sensationalizing it is, even now the media is dancing around this word, this terror to
Are they?
label it. Yeah, because you know what it is? We are so fixated on blaming someone. Right? When something like this happens, we want to know everything about the suspect. Like, oh, why did he do it? Who did he do it? Like, where's he
and
from?
we do-
Where does he go to school? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Because you want to find out why you did it.
and then we want to place blame. There's a reason why we want to find out everything about the person that did this. Because we want to point the finger and say, who, like, blame them. Blame the immigrants. Get them out of here. Blame the, you know what I mean? Blame the kids. Blame the millennial hipsters. You know what I'm saying? And I
No,
just...
there's one guy to blame. It's the guy who's driving the van.
Well, I appreciate that stance.
It's trash.
And it's not that I disagree and I don't disagree. But, you know, I was particularly paying attention to how the media was digesting this whole story.
Yeah.
And yeah, but I definitely agree with all points made. And, you know...
I want to give a shout out to Eric, who's a dude I play basketball with. He was actually there giving first aid to the people.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Eric. He was having lunch. He walked out. He just saw people lying down on the floor, and he thought it was a car accident or something. So he tried to give him CPR. He was on the front page of the Toronto Star.
That's amazing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Give it up
That's
for that guy.
amazing.
You know,
That's amazing.
we want to shout out everyone that helped, anyone that helped. I know a lot of people on Facebook were like, there's like a roll call thing on Facebook where you can, like, when this happened, Facebook, this new feature where you could like inform people where you were and then publicize like what kind of help you were willing to give. Like it was like a button you'd hit and you'd say like help people right now as this is happening if you're in the area. And I thought that was like crazy to
So does
see.
it notify everyone in the area?
Yeah, that hey, I'm around and I'm willing to help with my whatever I can do, drive, bring water, something.
What if people abuse that though?
And the thing is, that's my next point, because people were doing that. There were random people just clicking on the button saying like, hey, all the gas stations are closed in the area. Where can I get gas? I was like, guys, like, this is crazy, right? So yeah, I just think, listen, in the wake, in the following of this tragedy happening, there's been nothing but good vibes. I was at Yonge and Finch today, actually. I actually was at Yonge and Finch today, and it's like nothing stopped. It's like nothing stops in Toronto. Toronto's always moving. You know, there was no yellow tape anywhere. There was a memorial, of course, people paying homage to the victims and whatnot. But
And shout outs to the cop too, because I mean, this is unheard of, man. If this happened in the States, there'd be 20 cops on this guy.
holy,
And okay, first of all, this guy said he had a gun and he motioned pulling out a gun.
he was drawing some sort of
which
supposed weapon.
turned out to be his cell phone, right?
Oh yeah,
Trying to get suicide by cop. So I feel like if this happened in the States, literally, even before he stepped out of
Wet
the car,
up.
he caught bullets from like
Wet.
30 cops, man.
Or even in London or France, like they've dealt with this type of stuff before.
Yeah,
right?
they don't fuck around.
And they don't fuck around over there.
capped him 20 times over.
They lose all type, like all their training.
Yeah.
Just goes out the fucking window. Like, you know, they
shoot.
Like,
Let's just shoot.
yeah, shoot
Yeah.
first, ask questions later. I'm really proud of how we as Canadians handle this in this situation. Like when it comes to justice, you know, we
Yeah.
brought this guy to justice, which is what you're supposed to do in a democracy.
I would say just
So
yeah, man.
That's
Just keep going, moving on with your life, man. Rest in peace to all the victims and condolences to their families. But like, it's Toronto, man. We're still good.
We still moving, absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
I would
sure.
never let this end or done our city. You know what I'm saying? Our city kia done. But anyway, I wanna actually also say, shout outs to the cop, an Asian immigrant cop. Okay, Asian born Canadian. I'm not even sure if he was born in his home country, but I don't even know his name. And I think
Something Lamb.
It was something Lamb. His last name was
Yeah.
Lamb. Asian cop. Yo, shout out to him. You know, if we're gonna shout out anyone, I'd rather shout out him than the suspect. And also, a lot of people were up in arms. Well, not up in arms, but I think the reason why this cop's conduct can be celebrated so much is because if we can just rewind back to when Sammy Ateem was murdered by the police on during a standoff on a TTC bus.
Right.
with the knife.
With the knife.
Mhm. Okay,
And those cops went in there. They wet him up without hesitation. They shot him like 10 times and then tasered him like 5 times or
Yep.
whatever. It was like excessive force.
That's crazy.
And arguably, this situation is worse than that.
Absolutely.
Because this guy's saying he has a gun,
completely.
and giving you a reason to
And
shoot
he
him.
killed, and he killed
already
a bunch
killed
of people.
someone.
Yeah,
He already
what-
He
killed
killed
people.
like 16 people,
Yeah.
or however much.
Sammy Ateem had no victims, was on a bus causing a fucking ruckus, scaring people.
Yo, this is a crazy comparison to draw. Like, sorry,
it-
don't mean to cut you off.
No,
but
no,
like, I
absolutely.
forgot about that story.
Yeah.
Good thing you
Yeah.
brought it up. Yeah.
And people were not up in arms, but they were saying, okay, hey, like, where was this kind of due diligence when Sammy Ateem was wet up? And the thing is, I was sitting there thinking, like, you know what? If I was Sammy Ateem's mother, I would have wanted that guy to be, like, killed 10 times
Hung.
over. Like, hung
By his
from the
balls.
highest
What,
floor.
the cop?
No, the
No,
suspect.
this
Oh, the
this-
because he's
yeah,
still
this
alive.
incels guy.
You know what I'm
whatever the
saying?
fuck his name is.
So I think that's worth noting. I think that is a point of contention. But I don't mean to discredit the police. They've certainly redeemed themselves
Yeah.
with this.
That's what you're supposed
Yeah.
to do.
Exactly,
That's what you're
right? And,
supposed
and,
to
and I'm not going to look back and be like, oh, well, what about, right? As long as we're getting better at handling these
And if
situations.
anything, like this, like even out of all the shootings we see in the States of like these young black guys or even just random people who are supposedly causing trouble, this case was like the most justified scenario to shoot him. And they
Yeah.
did not shoot him.
For sure.
And everything
agree.
turned out fine.
Right. I think we were all expecting. Listen, people that were watching it happen were like, okay, this guy's going to get capped. Let's get out of here.
Right.
And incredibly brave. That cop was like,
We could only
And if-
hope that justice is served.
Yeah,
and this
that's
guy
what it
gets
is.
fucking life in
Yeah.
prison.
If you notice in that video, I'm pretty sure everyone's seen that video already. So he's the guy's yelling at him something, and he can't hear him because the siren on is still in
Yeah.
the
oh,
car.
yeah, and he turns the
The
siren
cop goes
off.
back in the car. He turns the siren off so he can hear what the guy's saying.
Yeah.
Mm,
Crazy.
he even like the nuance
Yeah.
in this
Yeah.
situation is crazy.
Amazing. Like,
Yeah.
what cop?
This-
We've never seen cops act this way anywhere around the world.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever witnessed a story where a cop has been this diligent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The cop was even saying...
In a major situation like
Right.
this.
The cop
right?
was even saying, he's like, I've got a gun. The guy's like, I've got a gun. I'm gonna shoot. Shoot me. He's like, kill me. He said, kill me, right? And the cop's like, no. The cop's like, no. I'm not gonna shoot you.
Versus
what are you
like
talking about?
Versus...
in America,
they don't even say shit. They shoot you when you're not even looking. You know what I mean?
"Hey officer, how's it going?"
How's it going?
Bang bang
Bam!
bang bang bang. bang.
Officer, I'm putting my hands above my head, and you're just already dead.
Oh man.
So yeah, we definitely don't want to dwell on this. Listen, it's gonna be a huge news story from weeks to come, and we're never gonna forget this. No Torontonian is ever gonna forget this tragedy.
Never forget.
But we're here to move on. We're here to help our listeners move on, and that's what it do. So shout out to all the victims, and listen, respects to all the victims' families. There were some gut wrenching stories here. You know, there were a lot of people affected. Shout out to the cop who handled that so diligently. And listen, justice will be served. So I think we're all good to move on. Are we not?
Yeah.
Okay, we're good. I think we're good.
What's up?
What is really good? What is going on in like the electronic world? Actually, before I get to that, the four of us were here: me, John, Instajam, and Boofmatic. And Boofmatic. That sounds so weird to say. Can I just say
What up?
Boof?
Yeah, fine.
I've never called you Boofmatic in my whole how many 10 years of knowing
It's
you.
just my handle.
It's his
Do we
podcast
still have to call you
alias.
V?
You don't like V? V is sick.
I just
His real name's Michelle.
Oh my, yo!
Oh,
exposed. Okay. So we got a guest pod. Can we get a pod guest? All right.
Hey, what's up?
Do you have a handle? Do you want us to call you by your government name or
Fuego,
Just call me
Asian
Hugo,
styling.
just call him Fugo?
Asian one styling. is
Asian
what my
one
Instagram
styling.
is.
aka Quick.
in the studio tonight.
In the studio right now.
He's just sitting here listening.
He's been sitting here listening diligently, but he's joining us. He's the 5th member. He's a guest
We have a
member.
live audience member.
If you've been listening to us, we always have guest members because we think that they have valuable things to input. So Fuego is his name now. It's literally the Spanish spelling of fire. Fuego, Fuego. I don't like saying fuego though. I hate it when people call it fuego. I
know.
hate that. So it's
Different,
Fuego.
it's different. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Thanks for the introduction.
Absolutely.
Let's get to the next one.
Yeah, man, let's do it. Let's keep it rocking. Listen, I was browsing, I was perusing the internet, and I saw this. Listen, Amazon is. We all know Amazon. If you don't know Amazon, listen, you just. I don't know, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. So Amazon has this new technology. We all know about how they can like come inside your house now and just drop the package in your house and
Come
shit.
inside. Just
Come
come inside.
inside. Yeah, I can't think of more raps with that, but I will. I'll think of some Amazon bars. So we all know that Amazon, they got this whole, they can unlock your door, they can like shit in your toilet pretty much. Now they're trying to implement, if you don't want them to come inside your house, and if you don't want them to leave the package on your front porch, what they can do now is like get a key for your trunk of your car, leave it in the trunk of your car, and be on their way.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna definitely pass this off to you guys, but before I do that, I just want to say like, these dudes are gonna be sitting at the dinner table with us soon. You know what I mean? And that's just my take on it. But I
That's
don't know,
how
you guys
far
see
they're.
this?
Yeah, that's what they're
How
trying to
does
get.
it work? So you give them a key? You have to give Amazon your car keys?
That's the thing. Like, this is so new to me.
Maybe
I
you
don't
want to
really-
take the car too?
right? I'm pretty sure it's like what it is. I think it's probably like an electronic lock installed in your car trunk, and you click it, and then it'll like somehow it links with the mechanism in your car.
So what is the purpose of this? So when you're at work, they can deliver it to your car at work or something?
They put it in your trunk,
Or
and this is what it is to subvert people from stealing from your porch.
okay, but look, this is if you're
look at Jeff.
if you want a package delivered to you and you don't want to deliver it on your porch, that means you likely took your car out somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you're not at home to get the package. So what, they're gonna bring it to your car at work? Like your car's not gonna be on your driveway, most likely,
I think
unless you have another car or something. But like this is so stupid.
I think if you go, I'm gonna let you pop your shit, but I think it will work. Like if you are at work, they can just drop it to your trunk. That's what and that would be the most feasible, practical thing.
But like, what about like me? I park my car in a parking garage, and you need a pass to get in there. How you gonna get in there, fam?
Yeah.
I think you should prepare for that, yo.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that whole thing is for people who are on vacation and stuff like that too. And they want the package, obviously, right? And they don't want them going to their house. They don't want them putting it on their front door.
True.
So might as well just have it in their trunk.
That's true as well.
I mean, I guess there's different situations where you could use that, but it's a
Yeah.
pretty good idea.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. The only thing I could think about. This is Instagram talking, by the way. If you haven't fucking noticed that.
Better recognize.
Yeah. So all I could think about is the memes. When it comes
Exactly. They're doing it
The
just for clout.
situation-
Amazon is doing this for clout.
yeah. They're doing it for the clout.
Just for clothes.
So, or not memes. Like, you know those YouTube video pranks? Yeah?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Somebody's gonna put like a fake body in the trunk, and then they're gonna be filming in a bush, and like some Amazon guy's gonna open their
And
trunk
then-
and be like, "Holy fuck, there's dead bodies in the trunk."
And then-
I quit.
I could see that happening.
And then
I'm calling it right now.
Right.
We'll actually fucking copyright that shit.
And then Amazon gets the clouts from all those spin-off videos of this, right?
Yeah,
Right,
get all the
right.
advertisement,
Get the
get all that
advertisement.
Dude pranks Amazon delivery guy.
Yeah,
That's it.
exactly.
Yeah.
What
I should
my-
type that in right now, actually.
What
Well,
they need is Amazon to deliver to where we are at that moment of time. Like if I'm in a club and I want my package,
I'm at the Hawks.
you better give me that package.
Yeah.
That is like next. It's something they need
Yeah,
to
if
work
they can
on.
deliver it to your trunk, why can't they just deliver it to where you
They
are?
might as well,
you have
yeah.
your phone on you. You can just give them your location or whatever.
I mean,
Right.
Uber already has your location. GPS, just have it on there.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same thing. They'll know where you are. Deliver the package.
true.
You're
Oh
done.
shit! Amazon's the new plug,
I don't think
like
that's
Rich
that,
the Kid, the
yeah,
plug.
Like what Figo's saying, I don't think that's actually too far off, man. I think eventually they're
mean,
just gonna.
In other countries, right? Like I've been to China. You can call them, like ask them where your package, where they are right now, delivering. You can actually go to them too if you want to, like on the route to pick up your own package.
Right.
Yeah, that
Or they can
works.
just, if you can meet them somewhere on their way, they'll meet you.
That makes sense because pretty much every single person is tracked right
Yeah,
now.
everyone's
You're,
single is
you're
tracked.
carrying
The
a
package is
tracking
tracked.
device on you,
for sure.
right? So they'll know where you are at all times.
Your phone knows everything. I literally have to like my phone's not even on, and I have to like tell my phone that I don't like certain things so they don't show up in my Facebook ads. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like I don't like this idea, iPhone, please. But yeah, my whole thing is, and we can move on. But my whole thing is like, yo, what if you order some like illicit shit and you rolling around with it in your trunk for the rest of the day? Like I don't know.
But you
Well,
have the
discreet, right? Discreet packaging.
I guess you get
Yeah.
pulled over. They pop you. They see like a half an ounce, and you're.
well, you're already running the risk ordering that illicit shit in the first place.
Yeah.
Okay, well, listen, it's gonna roll out soon, and if anyone has experience with it, listen, one of us will be ordering shit to our trunk eventually. So, but yeah, moving forward, we also got this is
We
kind
got
of
some cases.
yeah, we got some cases, man.
There's too much stuff that happened this week, man.
This one is a little bit disturbing.
Bill
and-
Cosby.
Not yet. Listen, we're gonna get into
Yeah.
that, but
Bill, mother.
we gonna get into it, and I think maybe I don't know if you got some stuff to pop off, but Stan Lee, listen, 95-year-old Stan Lee, creator of Marvel or just Spider-Man.
Marvel.
Marvel, yeah.
Okay,
Comics.
so man,
One of the founders, yeah.
this dude, my dude, got caught like doing some sexually questionable shit.
In the
There's
movie.
no proof though.
Man.
There's no proof of it.
You
It's
know
just some
what?
random person saying, "Hey,
Stan Lee
is
sexual
what
assault
happened.
allegations.
he has enough money to actually pay for something better than
Okay,
that."
I
right?
need-
Like,
All
why
I'm
would
saying
he-
at 95 years old, I'm going balls out.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. I'm just telling you right now.
Literally.
Prepare.
Yeah,
Prepare.
I made a
I'll
little
be balls
joke
out.
yesterday when they were talking
I
about
give you a
this.
disclaimer right now.
I was like, yo, you're 95, what? You can't even scratch your balls no more? Like,
I'm saying.
Okay, so
Tell me the story
Alright,
though, because
I'm
I don't
gonna
know.
die in
Okay,
2
for-
years.
So
for
let,
people
let's
who
break,
doesn't know.
yeah, for people who don't know,
know.
let's break the story down. So he was essentially getting a massage, okay, at a massage parlor, whatever it may be, and then he started touching himself, and then he tried to take like, and the masseuse was obviously female. Then he took like the female's foot and like put it on his shit. Like
that's just what they're saying.
he put it on
happened.
his genitalia, and then now she's coming out trying to secure her bag, like maybe she's trying to get money. Who knows if it's true or not? So now she's coming out saying,
Pretty
"Hey,
much.
I've been sexually assaulted by Stan Lee," and
I want my bag.
and listen, we can go around the table because everyone
Don't they usually have cameras in those places? I thought they're supposed to in
No.
case something happens.
Massage parlor?
Massage parlors. I
Maybe,
thought they
like,
always have. They're supposed to have
In the
just for
room that
privacy-
you're getting
for
massaged though?
protection.
I've been to a lot. I've been to some massage parlors, and not the ones that you guys think. I've been to masseuses, and I don't think I've ever seen cameras in those rooms. Like, yeah, I would feel better getting a massage if there wasn't a camera, because you got to derobe, you got to get fully naked,
robe, yeah.
right? But yeah, I just think again, and we can go around the table with this opinion too. But listen, you Stan Lee, you're like one of the richest motherfuckers out there.
I say, you think he's a billionaire or a millionaire? I think he's a billionaire.
I think he's
at
a
this
billionaire,
fucking
for
point,
sure.
yo. Like,
You can pay.
He has enough, that's
He
what.
has enough to
you could get
pay.
You could pay for whatever the fuck you want. Like,
yeah.
Like, why would he do
You could
that?
tap Spider Woman.
word.
Yeah, multiple
She-Hulk.
Spider Woman. Like,
Yeah.
You could
You
get,
could get a hand job from She-Hulk.
like you could
And
get
just call it.
you could get hookers delivered to your trunk by Amazon. Okay, no, but
But I mean,
yeah.
like,
pop it.
I don't know. I just want, like, like we were just saying that whole topic. Like, yeah, he's a millionaire. Like, you think this is just a money grab? Like, I mean, we can only speculate, right?
I can only speculate that it is a money grab. I
Yeah.
mean, that's such like a far-fetched thing for someone, like for him to do.
Yeah.
Like, he has so much money. He has all his free will to do all his things. And he's 96?
95.
95?
Yeah, man.
That's
My whole thing is okay. Fine. I listen. I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. It is
Yeah.
like it does seem like a money grab to a lot of people, but at the same time, the fetish for maybe his fetish is like going to this scene, this regular woman,
Yeah.
and then flipping it on and then pulling it out, right? Like whereas if it's a hooker, there's not this like thrill.
he
this
has
it could be like a
excitement.
fantasy of this.
Yeah,
like,
right?
trying to act
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
right?
You're
Like,
talking
yeah, I
about
really
anything.
want to
I
pull
like
up at the
95, I
cashier
like
at the
to do it.
grocery store.
Pull,
You know?
Yeah.
pull down.
Because again, he, with all that money and power, you don't know where people's minds are at these days
Yeah.
too. I mean,
And also with all the money and power, it's like you're not a regular person
yeah,
anymore.
you're not a
you know?
regular person, no
Um,
matter what you say.
so you just like you need that like who knows what he needs.
Yeah, but it's like if he started doing it and then she was like, yeah, she could have just been like, yeah, I'm not comfortable with that. But the question is like, we don't know what
Yeah, we
went
don't
We
down.
don't know. Yeah.
Was she like, no, and then he kept going, which we've been saying about all these cases. Is like,
But like, if he's already doing it and she's saying no, why don't she just leave the room? So she still continue doing whatever she was doing, and then eventually get to her foot or whatever it was. onto it.
Yeah.
Like, how does that even work out?
She's like, do I continue or do I go for the bag? What do I do?
yikes.
Anyways,
So yeah,
Oh.
crazy story.
Wrap
Crazy
that one
story.
up.
Yikes.
And yeah, man. So check it out. Listen, if you guys want to just Google that shit one time, just check it out. Crazy. So listen. Speaking of Stan Lee, we're gonna get into some serious topics. But speaking of Stan Lee, did anyone see the Venom trailer?
I saw it.
I saw it.
I didn't know.
Because
I
I'm
actually saw it
a
again,
Spider-Man
and-
fan.
I actually thought it was really dumb. I didn't actually like it at all.
Okay.
They just kind of downplayed Venom to be like a kind of a good person at the same time, but not like an anti-hero, like the
Yeah.
trailer said, an anti-hero, right? But he was kind of he was trying to do good, but that's not how, I guess, we growing up watching the shows and stuff kind of portrayed Venom to be, or
Yeah.
Oh, so he's a hero in the movie. Or he's a good guy? Or?
Well, he seems like that in the
like a good guy
trailer.
in the trailer so
So,
far.
like, I don't know. I'm a Spider-Man fan. I'm a Venom fan. Grew up with that shit. And okay, so the weird part about the trailer, they've showed 2 trailers so far, right? This is the second trailer that they just released this week, and you don't see Spider-Man at all.
Yeah, you don't.
Without Spider-Man, there's no Venom.
I don't think they want to put Spider-Man in that movie because it kind of just
But it doesn't make sense.
gravitates.
It doesn't make
It
sense
doesn't, because you need Spider-Man to get
'Cause,
Venom.
yeah,
And that's the whole
Spider-Man,
story, right?
like how Venom came about is that the black whatever
Symbiote.
that black
symbiote.
goop or whatever, right?
The symbiote.
The symbiote.
And there's debate over how to say this word.
Symbiote.
Symbiote, symbiote.
It's different.
The
but
internet is lit up on
Yeah.
how to
Wait,
Alright,
wait,
fuck
wait,
the
wait.
internet.
Let's
The
ask Stan Lee.
when the trailers said that name, I was like, wait, that's not how I heard it from before, or like
Wait,
how I've said it
Yeah.
before either.
Okay. So this is how the story goes in the comics and the cartoons. So like the symbiote, that black stuff, tries to take over Spider-Man and tries to make him Venom, but he fights it off, right? And then it goes and finds this guy named Eddie Brock, who is Tom Hardy in the movie,
Yeah.
right? And then it takes over him, and then he kind of just accepts Venom, and that's how Venom kind of looks like Spider-Man, because he tried to take Spider-Man over. In the trailer, you don't see Spider-Man at all. It doesn't try to interact with Spider-Man at all, and all of a sudden it looks like Spider-Man.
It was like an experiment.
make
It was an
sense.
experiment a scientist was, I guess, doing on,
Yeah,
trying to like fuse it with some other people, and I guess they go crazy from what the trailer looked like.
yeah.
But then it goes to Eddie, and he kind of, I guess he was like the perfect fit for him, and he was trying to do good at first, and that's what it seemed like in the trailer. But
Yeah.
They changed the story.
And that's why, you know why they changed the story? Because it's politics between Sony and Marvel.
No way.
Yes, because so Sony owns the rights to the Spider-Man name, or they just lost it, right? And Marvel just gained back Spider-Man, the Spider-Man name, but they still hold rights to the Venom name. So
yeah, so
they
put
can't
Spider-Man.
have Spider-Man in the movie, so they're just doing a Venom movie without Spider-Man.
so crazy.
So they had to change the story to
It could be
everything.
good though. Who knows? It could
I
be a
thought
good
Disney
movie.
bought Marvel or some shit.
Disney
Disney has
they
Marvel,
have
but
Marvel.
Sony is their own thing. But they own the properties to Venom,
just like how they own
so it fucks up the story.
X-Men too, but now they don't own X-Men, so now Marvel
Yeah.
can do things with X-Men, right?
Yeah, it's all about the money, man.
Disney.
It's all
It's
about
all
the
about
money.
money.
These fucking
I
companies don't care about stories and shit like that.
This is John, and I don't give a fuck about superheroes. That's all I'm gonna say.
I do give a fuck about that one Asian cop though. He's a real hero. But listen, the thing is, it's like when I saw the, I didn't really fully watch out the trailer. I saw clips of it. I love Tom Hardy. I think he is
He's
an
a
amazing
great actor.
He's a great
Great
actor.
actor.
He's a
So
great
good.
actor.
Yeah,
so it's
great
like I get excited when I see him in anything. I don't care what it is because he knows how to pick roles.
What
too.
other roles did he have? I don't.
Have you seen Warrior?
Oh, Warrior was a sick
Warrior's
movie.
a sick movie.
No.
Warrior's great. Tom Hardy has like some other cerebral movies.
I need to
the
look him
Revenant.
up.
The
He
Revenant.
was the bad guy in the Revenant.
Oh, that dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that dude's
Um,
badass.
He's been Inception. He
He's
was in
also, in,
Inception.
Yeah.
he's also in Dark Knight Rising as well.
Dark Knight. Right?
Oh, he was
Yeah.
Bane.
He's Bane
Yeah, he was
He's
Bane.
Bane.
He was Bane.
in Spider-Man.
He was in
and,
Mad Max as
Batman.
well. Mad Max as well.
Like these.
He was the Mad Max guy. Mad Max.
Oh,
Oh, he was
yeah.
Mad Max. Yo, he knocks these roles out.
Yeah,
He knocks
he's
his
sick.
roles
Those
out of the park.
Those are all bangers right there.
All bangers.
Yeah.
So shouts to Tom Hardy. I mean, are y'all gonna see it? Are y'all gonna see it?
He obviously
I
went
probably
for the
will
bag.
watch it.
I'll
I'll
watch
probably
it.
watch
He
I
obviously went for the bag in this movie.
Yeah.
To me, like, I
know?
don't really care much about the stories and stuff because, like, the superhero stuff is like far fetched for me now.
It's all played out anyways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's so
It
many
is so many
superhero
TV shows,
movies,
so
man.
many movies. It's all
Yeah,
rehashed.
I mean,
But
it's
if-
really for the fans. It's like it's basically bringing all the cartoons and shit that
To
you
the
saw
next
when you were a
generation.
kid
To the next
to life.
generation,
Like
to the next generation
yeah,
as well.
exactly.
But
And
like,
it's-
I like the production on these movies, like
Yeah.
huge, big explosions, sick cinematography and effects, and the
yeah,
3D and
for
all
sure.
that stuff.
They're really like stepping it up.
Oh, speaking of movies, I saw Ready Player One with Fugo.
Oh,
Actually,
it was actually a really good movie.
Yeah.
I heard about
Really
that.
good
I heard
movie.
about that.
I thought it was gonna be like a really stupid movie. You go into it, like you'll have like
You have low expectations.
I had low expectations,
yeah.
but then
Which are the best movies?
which is the best
because-
movies. Actually, this movie was a really fun ride. It was entertaining. There was a lot of nostalgic in it too. All the characters, Street Fighter,
Yeah.
Overwatch.
The
Overwatch
And
is
there was
No way.
Overwatch was in there. There was a Tracer in there.
the thing I want to say about watching that movie was
But at one point, I don't
No.
want to spoil it, so I'm not going to say anything. But there was at one point where everyone in the theater just cheered when this one thing.
All right,
Oh.
don't say too much.
John
John will know that. John will know which
Yeah.
part it is.
Yeah.
John know which part it is.
But-
so yeah, Ready Player One. Check that out. But yo, keep going.
I watched that movie. So I was buying the tickets online, and I'm seeing you can get 3D, or you can go non-3D, and you can also go D-Box. Have you guys heard of D-Box?
Yeah.
What is that? Sorry,
So,
what is that?
D-Box is certain. There's like 2 or 3 rows in the theater.
Oh, they spray you with the shit in the
You
face.
sit
No,
in the
no, no,
seats.
It's like a roller coaster kind
The
of thing.
seats
They
move.
shoot you in the face.
The seats move to the movie, and they also vibrate.
Oh shit.
And you can
okay.
turn the intensity up and down
Yeah.
on the seat. So if you max it out
It's
and you watch
crazy.
like action movies like that, like it'll literally like it's
Yeah,
a whole new.
you're like
It's
in
like
a
a fourth
fucking
dimension. It's adding like a fourth
roller
dimension
coaster.
to the
It
movie.
makes the movie a lot better.
Yeah.
Well, certain movies. I've been to D-Box for some movies and it was really boring.
It's got to be like
it has to be like a action-packed,
yeah.
like you're
The
driving
car
a car the
chase.
whole time or something. Fast and Furious would be a very good movie to watch.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I would
The
think
car
it would.
chase was so sick
Oh, the
in
car
Ready
chases
Player
are so
One.
good.
So you wouldn't want
And the
to
combat.
go to a D-Box movie for like The Notebook.
No.
Or,
They wouldn't offer it.
Who knows?
They wouldn't
Quiet
offer
Place.
D-Box.
A Quiet Place. Why do they call it D-Box?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But probably
Dimension
whoever-
box. So,
Yeah,
I think it's something like that. Yeah.
Oh.
I can't
Because
remember.
it brings like the fourth.
D-Box. It just reminds me of that SNL skit with Justin Timberlake.
Oh,
Dick and
Okay, I would.
Oh, okay, thanks.
I would say,
everybody's favorite R&B Christmas.
if you're gonna go
track.
see a good action movie, even like these superhero movies, get D-Box, man. It's worth
Okay.
a
Pause.
couple extra
Okay.
bucks.
But yeah.
I'll say, listen, going back to the whole Marvel movie thing, it's like there are so many fucking Marvel movies, bro.
Yeah,
And also
yeah.
at this, like, listen, at this age,
Milk.
when I go to these Marvel, when I go
Oh
to,
yeah. I need that in the. fucking-
when I go to these Marvel movies, there's just so much action happening at once that
It
my-
gets confusing at
my
sometimes.
brain just shuts down. Like it's too much, bro. I just
Yeah.
fall asleep. Like I literally pass out and I fall asleep. I have a seizure and I fall asleep. I can't.
It knocks you unconscious.
It's crazy. So it's like I don't know. Maybe this D-Box shit will keep me awake. Maybe.
That's a-
It's shake it up a bit.
You know, get me going.
Life at 30. Life at 30.
Yikes! Yikes! So, yo, shout out the Venom movie. I'm pretty sure all of us
Actually,
are gonna check it out.
Yeah.
I'll probably check it out.
If you're a
Yeah.
gamer, you gotta watch Ready Player
Sure.
One. If you
And
play
then
video
shout out
games,
Ready Player
at
Talking
all.
about like
Definitely.
things from our past and like childhood, like Venom and Spider-Man and stuff like that. Mini Me.
Oh, Mini-Me.
If you want to like get into that.
Yo, speaking of movies,
Rest in peace to Mini Me, aka come on, man. We're calling him Mini Me. What's his real name?
I know
Vern
right?
Troyer.
Vern Troyer.
Vern
Yeah.
Troyer.
He died at 49?
RIP, man. RIP.
Died at
Yeah.
49.
One of my favorite
49.
movies growing up. Austin Powers.
It was a great movie.
Yeah.
And sad thing about that is he committed suicide too. I don't know if you guys.
No way!
Oh, I
I didn't know
that,
that.
actually.
Yeah.
Say
Oh,
word.
what?
Yeah,
I
it was a
didn't know
suicide.
So
No.
do you have
Did he-
details?
Did he OD?
He had a drinking problem.
Uh-huh.
He was a bit of an alcoholic, and then just before he killed himself, he went into the hospital for like something related to his drinking, and then after that,
Oh,
he offed
fuck.
himself.
No way!
I thought it was natural causes.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But
Nope. That's what. That's
yeah,
what
you would have thought he had like some sort of medical
Yes.
affliction because of
That's-
his stature, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought when I saw it for the first time too. I'm like, oh yeah, he probably has some sort of illness, and it just finally took over. But yeah,
Yo, rest in peace.
Yo,
Yeah, that's
RIP,
sad,
man.
yeah,
That's
rest
sad.
in peace.
Man. That's shit.
And the thing is, it's like, you know what's crazy? Like, when these celebrities die, and it sucks we call him Mini-Me, but it's like, you know what? It's bad that we do that, but at the same time, like, he left his mark, you know?
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
one
yeah,
is
yeah.
going to say Mini-Me and not know who the fuck you're talking
Yo,
about.
that's an iconic role.
That's what it is.
You know,
yeah.
it's nothing to like, you know,
To overpass. Like, you can't just...
yeah,
glaze
and
over
it's
it.
not like, what's the word? You know, dismissing his legacy by saying
Absolutely.
Mini-Me, right?
no, not at all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, that's kind of somber. That's crazy. Are we... Listen, we're talking about entertainment. We can...
Well,
we
I
can-
will staying on that topic, like
Yeah.
freaking Avicii.
Yeah, we should mention Avicii. If we're speaking about iconic
Yeah.
figures who passed away,
RIP.
Yeah.
Avicii, huge EDM artist, passed away at a very young age, 28 years old.
Mhm.
Swedish EDM artist. Yo, he's got bangers. Listen, I'm not the biggest Avicii fan, but I know the song Levels by Avicii. I love that song.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was by Avicii until he passed away.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
how bad that was.
Yeah. I mean that song pretty much that put EDM on the map a
Yeah.
few years ago, you know, and like it hasn't been the same ever since. It's been just huge in North America. I believe Avicii was Norwegian, something like that.
Swedish,
right? And he pretty much brought that whole like big EDM sound
He-
and festivals to North America.
No
Not
way,
even
really?
Yeah,
He's the
he's
pioneer?
he's one of them.
Not
That-
even North America. He made it like global. Like his shit
Yeah.
was hot all over the world. He
Yeah.
had that "Wake Me Up" song. So wake me up when it's all over. That's
Oh, no way!
That's
yeah,
Avicii.
that's Avicii. That's
Wow.
Avicii.
So he was like blending EDM and folk and country.
That
and,
was
you
a
know,
sick song. Yeah.
Mm.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
exactly.
And the thing is, you
These
don't
huge
realize...
radio hits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you see, the thing is, it's like, every single one of us, if you've been to a club, you was jamming to something by Avicii at one point in time, on the floor, drunk as fuck. You know what I mean? So, shouts to Avicii. But we've just learned, and listen, the whole world was shook by this news, Avicii passing away. He was so young. He did have, he was suffering from a medical affliction. He had issues. He was drinking. He had a gallbladder taken out. He had,
Oh,
he
man.
had some
So,
complications.
but all those illnesses were because of excessive drinking.
Yeah, and that's what also.
But I
that's
wanna-
also-
Mentioned that he also attempted suicide a couple times too, because it's mostly the whole. Let's talk about this whole partying life that we don't
Partying
really get to
lifestyle,
explore, right? The
yeah.
whole lifestyle that
Yeah.
comes with
Because we're just fans.
we're
right?
just fans, right? But this whole thing that comes with just being a DJ, a big DJ, and this whole lifestyle that happens, this whole partying scene,
Especially the EDM scene.
especially EMC where there's a lot of drugs, people drinking, there's rapes and all this story that
Yeah.
goes on and whatnot.
And he, like,
And he's like an
introvert.
person, right? So he doesn't.
Extrovert.
No,
No,
Is he
he's
reclusive?
introvert.
He's
Yeah,
shy?
he's shy.
Introvert.
Oh,
And
really?
in that scene, you can't really. You're more. Everyone's coming up to you like, "I love your songs," blah blah blah. Everyone wants to talk to you, and he just
Yeah.
doesn't really want to talk to
It's too
people.
much.
It's too much, right? He doesn't want to party with all the time.
he
and
just
stuff
likes
like that.
playing the music.
He just loves the music. He loves producing and stuff, and that kind of gets to a person who's
Yeah.
kind of like just.
Who just wants to be alone.
Just
or-
wants
And
to
he's
be
probably,
alone.
he's feeling probably forced to
To communicate.
indulge in
Yeah.
that,
To be
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be and
to
kinda-
indulge in that party lifestyle.
So
who
we
knows?
we are learning. I think I just learned this today that there are rumblings now that his death was a suicide. In fact,
Yep.
Yes.
so that's crazy, man.
Yeah, that came out today actually.
Yeah, and
Damn,
it
all
was-
these things. Well, it is health related, right? It's mental health,
Yeah.
right?
But then you have a choice, right? Like when you know that something is going on in your body, you have a choice to start taking care of yourself or just say fuck it, I'm done. You know.
But I'd say, man, like this. It seems to be that alcohol. If you excessively drink, it seems to fuck you up, like
Absolutely.
mentally.
Without a
Oh yeah,
question.
yeah, for sure.
It's tragic. I think the whole world was shocked because he was so young, man. 28 years old.
28.
Like, come on, yo.
He didn't get to hit 30. That's crazy.
So I actually read that he was one of the highest paid DJs.
Yeah, man.
So this
I'm not
guy's
even
making
surprised.
millions of dollars. He's 28.
money doesn't
yet
make you
he's
happy.
still not
There it
happy,
is.
right?
Yeah.
So you youngins out there who are trying to chase fame and chase the dollar, thinking it's gonna make your life better, you need to search within yourself and find something else, man. Or you can do that too, but just
Well,
don't-
I mean, you gotta make
don't-
sure you're happy first, and then the money will make you
That's
Yeah.
what it is. If
even
you do-
more happy.
don't expect that stuff to bring you happiness.
But like, money won't bring you ultimate happiness.
The thing is, so then my next question is, do you think Avicii was doing what he loved?
He was doing what he loved. He loved music. He was
Yeah.
doing it all.
But the scene, I guess.
But the scene is what he didn't like, I guess. But
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
music.
That's
comes
kind of
with the
pointing,
scene, right?
Yeah, it's kind of pointing back to like a couple podcasts ago that were when we were talking about the whole scene
right.
and what it
That's-
brings, right?
Mhm.
Right. It's a lot of positivity, but it's also a lot of negativity as well.
And probably being an introverted person in that scene, you kind of want to drink to,
Fade everyone out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
pretty much.
right?
like, hey, I can't deal with this, but I have to be here.
And you're always surrounded with people like you don't even want to talk to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Crazy. So listen, rest in peace, and damn, it's a depressing week. Shit.
Not really, man. Shit happens,
I mean,
man.
shit happens,
You
it
gotta,
does.
you learn from
happens
it
on
and
the
move
road.
on, man.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, we're talking about entertainment. We gotta lighten up the mood a little bit. Yo, last week
Yo,
it was 420, and we were hyping this up on our last week podcast. Some huge drops. God of War dropped.
Yo, that was a sick game.
We all.
First, no spoilers because I
Still
know
playing
some
it right
people.
now.
Some
Still
people-
currently
Let me
on
intro it.
fire.
Let me intro it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we're all sinking our teeth into this game, okay? And I'm just gonna say vague things, and I'll let you guys pop your shit. It looks gorgeous. It plays gorgeous. Okay. The story is amazing. All right. This is the only time I've been interested in the characters in any game, and the combat is fucking great. So go
Right.
for it.
Mhm.
So
Right,
go
I
for
love
it.
how they improved.
So everybody's impressions on the game.
Yeah, we'll go like you
Like
played
since
it.
everybody's
Go.
no one's finished the game, but like first impressions, you know, I'm playing the game too. So
What do you think, John?
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys go first.
all right, fuck it. I'll pop it off right
Game's
now.
dope
Pop
as
it up.
fuck.
Pop it up.
Game is dope as shit. You know, for me, as I said before, this is my first God of War game that I'm playing. Never played the other ones. I've seen people play it. No, no, fuck it. I'm not doing that for myself. Yeah, but you know, I love it. It's pretty much, you know, it's what I'm used to, right? In RPGs these days. Just like Horizon is
It has a Horizon feel.
it has a Horizon
In
feel
the
to
beginning.
it.
Well,
Well,
no,
Yo!
No, no, no.
I'm talking about
no,
the
no,
gimmick.
I want to say that.
like the controls and like the
The
feel.
controls,
No,
the
no, no,
feel,
no,
yeah.
It's nothing with the controls. It's the environment.
Environment.
The
is,
environment, the
environment.
look of it, yeah. So I'm definitely into it. You know, the whole level up system, I love that. Like, you know, it's a combination of Shadow Mordor and Horizon. So that's what I like about it so far. And visually looks amazing. So if you're
Visually is
playing this
amazing.
on a 4K TV, you're pretty much busting a nut. So
Yeah, that's good.
so what everybody else says.
No, the game is really good. It's really tight. It's actually hard too. I'm playing on normal and
It's
it's,
really
actually
tight and hard, yeah.
It's very tight and hard. Oh, damn.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Pause cast.
Like I've actually died in this game compared to like the previous installments
love that.
where it's not really that difficult. It's more just like DM or DMC. I'm just like pressing buttons, mashing, and killing everything.
Devil May Cry.
Yeah,
for the,
Devil May Cry.
Mm-hmm.
Now I actually have to think about what I'm doing. I have to like back off and kind of heal a bit sometimes.
I have to ask you one question.
Yes.
What mode are you playing on?
I'm
what,
playing on normal.
Normal.
I said normal.
Okay.
And it's actually a little bit challenging. There's like bosses that are actually pretty hard to fight. Even normal monsters, I find sometimes are challenging.
I'm playing on challenging, so I've died a bunch. So
I
I'm not
died a
that
lot
far.
too. I died a lot in normal,
Yeah.
and I'm glad I'm playing on normal. Otherwise, I think it kind of takes away from me progressing through the story.
Yeah.
And the story is really good. It's a lot better than the previous installments.
For sure.
But
It's very mature,
it is.
for sure.
But they've all been like that.
They've all been mature, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
I'm not
this
gonna
time
pass
they-
any judgment, but yeah.
V. What do you think?
Yo, man, what can I not say about this game? So, what I like about it is that, and I'm comparing it to the other God of Wars. What I really find, what I noticed about it is because it actually introduces small nuances from the older games into this one,
But in different
but
ways.
so subtly. Like it's so
Okay.
crazy. Like, for example, and I hate to spoil. I'm not gonna even spoil, but I felt like at some points in times you can kind of like parry, and it slows down a bit, and then
you
you
can
can
do that.
respond. Yeah. You
can parry,
You
you
can
can
parry. Yeah, you can parry in this one.
It's actually a skill that you have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
pick up
Parrying is,
quickly.
is great.
You can,
Right.
you
It
can
works.
parry,
works-
and
works,
it's almost as if like it just feels like very bouncy when you parry. It just
Yep.
feels like you're safe. And the old God of Wars had that exact mechanic because, and it was so important in the old God of Wars because in the old God of Wars you had hordes of enemies attacking you all at once, and you had to kind of like control all of them.
Yeah.
And then if one enemy kind of infiltrated your view or your attack, you could hit parry and indiscriminately anytime you wanted, and it would just do that bouncy
Yeah,
kind of
I
feeling.
love the bounce of the parry
Crazy.
because if
It
you have
slows down.
vibration on, you can
Yeah.
feel it too.
So crazy.
You feel the bounce.
Insane.
But
So that is something I really like how they tie old nuances into the new, because it's part of the formula. Like it's God of War. It can't be God of War unless they're bringing
Oh,
stuff from the,
yeah,
from
yeah,
the
yeah, for
past
sure.
into the future. And
They also made it very like new friendly too.
yeah.
Like how the tutorial is pretty much the whole beginning of the game, and it slowly introduces one thing after another, but not until you kind of figure out how to do the previous thing.
Right.
And they just good progression, and
It's paced well.
it's
for
paced
sure.
very well.
Pace well.
And also, bro, I'm playing on challenging.
Right.
I'm playing
Nice.
immersive mode, no HUD.
Yep,
You know,
yep,
so it
me
looks
too,
like a
me
fucking
too.
masterpiece.
yeah.
Right? Looks
I
like
don't
a
see any
movie.
health bars or
No,
anything
me
like that.
neither.
It's just like straight up
HUD
just...
is heads-up display for
Heads up display, right? So you can see your energy bar and your items and all that shit.
yeah,
I'm playing
your
without
life.
all that. Not that it makes it like, not that I'm like a pro because of that or whatever. But I will say that, you know, just again, and Figo already touched on it. This game's fucking will kick your ass. Like this game is not something where you can just like mash and just finesse all the enemies and shit.
But it'll kick your ass in a way where you
you learn.
You don't feel cheesed. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
absolutely.
Yeah, like, oh,
Like you
oh,
messed up. That's
Right.
why.
I'll come better next
It's like
time.
kind of like Dark Souls kind of thing where.
Well, Dark Souls
Well,
sometimes
Dark Souls sometimes you do
cheese.
cheese.
Dark Souls is cheese. Like,
Dark Souls, you will cheese definitely.
Yeah.
I gotta hide behind the pole and throw the firebomb.
But it's made for you to be like that, though. So that's what that game's for.
Dark Souls,
Like, it's
definitely.
made for you to fucking throw your controller at the TV.
Crazy. So yeah, none of us have finished the game yet. But listen,
Not even close.
if you haven't bought this game, please check it out. Do like my dude Boof. Borrow it from your brother. Play it when your brother's not
He just
home.
watches me play it.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, I'm playing the game too.
You know what I mean? Sick game. I don't think. Listen, like as we progress more and more through the game, I think we'll be able to say a lot more about it. I love that it's challenging. It looks great. It plays well. I can't really say anything else.
It's
Like,
getting
there's-
10 across the board.
It's getting,
so I
yeah.
guess
the 10s are justified.
Yeah,
10 are
absolutely.
justified.
I'm only like 4 to 5 hours into the game, but like I already know it's fire. Like
Yeah.
everything I've done
absolutely.
so far.
So God of War on PS4. Listen, if you don't have a PS4, and I know a lot of you guys don't have a PS4 yet, this is the reason to buy a PS4.
But when I think about it, like when I actually think about all the old God of Wars, those all got like 9.5s
They did.
and
They all
above.
got really good
They
too,
did
right?
very
We're
well.
all
Oh,
really
did
good
they?
games too.
Yeah, so I
Okay.
don't know why I was surprised that this game was as good as it is.
I'm surprised it got a
considering-
10. That's the thing, but
whenever a 10
Because
comes out,
everything
but whenever
that
10
comes-
comes out it's
Yeah,
really
because
good.
this is a real game. Everything else that's coming out is a money grab.
it is.
These guys, what, put
They spent
five
time.
5 years?
years.
5
game.
years
They hire people to
into this
actually do
game,
the
and it
story.
shows. It
shows.
shows.
For sure.
Just like Mario Odyssey, or not Mario Odyssey, sorry. What's that game called again? What's a Mario game called? That just came out?
Galaxy?
Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, it's
Odyssey.
Odyssey.
Is it Odyssey?
Odyssey.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Odyssey. Yeah.
Like the
Mario
Honda,
Odyssey. That,
Honda Odyssey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like it definitely shows
It
that, like
shows.
with certain studios, you definitely get a good result if you put in time to the game. You don't rush the development cycle and shit like that. Like I think the people that made Horizon put in like 6 or 7 years before the game was released.
And it shows
This
Sierra
game's
does a
better
really
than
good-
Horizon.
Yeah,
I
definitely. But Horizon was a great game.
Horizon was
great.
Like looking and like
Horizon
the whole
got
feel of it.
repetitive, and the
It did
story
get repetitive.
wasn't like I don't like when you go up and you talk to someone and you're just standing there and there's text on the screen and they're telling you their life story.
Oh, true.
But this one, like all the conversations are purposeful, right, and meaningful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was more of like a Witcher style. If you're into like Witcher style RPGs and stuff like that, there's a lot of dialogue, a lot of
Yeah.
talking, stuff like that. So you know,
This is more
it
linear.
depends what you're into.
Yeah, God of War is more linear, but like
Yeah. Very much more.
linear in a way where you don't feel like, and the scale of it feels amazing.
Yeah.
So overall,
It's
it's
a great game.
Overall, it's a good game. So I think
Can't
we
say
should.
anything.
I've talked enough about this.
Yeah. Don't wanna.
It's a wonderful game, but
Definitely.
So we got these last couple topics here.
Are we pressed for time? Are we rocking?
No, we're still going.
We're rocking.
time.
Yeah, I mean, listen, before we head off God of War, I did want to comment. Like, it was crazy how you called this game an RPG, right? None of the other God of Wars would ever be called an RPG.
Yeah.
This
no,
one,
they were still
No,
RPGs. They
they
were action RPGs.
had all these upgrade things in the old games.
they
too.
did, yeah.
I mean,
you upgrade your
I'm
weapons
talking
and
about
stuff like that, too.
the
It's the same
system.
thing.
Yeah, but
But the thing is, and it also has a map. You can like go back to
That's
certain
true, too.
fucking
Yeah, no. The other one
places
is
and,
the other one
you
is
know,
like a linear. You're going through a story.
Yeah,
and
once you
you're
beat
getting
this place,
shit.
you can't go back.
very
to it.
more fixated on action. The previous
Yeah,
ones were.
it's all
Yeah,
about action.
yeah.
And also, it's like when you said it was like the other ones didn't really feel adult to me as much as this one. This one feels like
It-
a
it
fucking
was more-
emotional story.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The other one is
It's more comic
you're going through
booky,
and you're
right?
fighting boss. You're just killing them.
But like the
gods and
gruesomeness and stuff was still there.
stuff. It was still there.
Yeah, that's true.
There's more
That's what it was all
superhero
about.
like I think
Yeah.
the other ones.
Well, yo, speaking of games, and listen, you mentioned Mario earlier. The Nintendo Switch, listen, for all y'all who are like
Right.
hackers trying to like infiltrate consoles and like buy bootleg games, the Nintendo Switch finally got cracked. Okay,
Hey.
so third-party developers found out how to crack the system,
Time to go to Pacific Mall.
and they're cracking the hardware. So it's not something that Nintendo can like update through a patch. It's like here to stay, and now I foresee just like all games for free.
Yeah.
putting fucking windows on the shit. Like
Windows.
Yeah,
everyone just wants to put windows on
sick.
everything. Like as soon as something gets cracked, they put Windows like XP on it
Yeah.
and go nuts with it. Do you think this will finally get you buying games for Nintendo? Will this make you more hyped about your Switch? Because the
Bro.
Switch kind of fell off for a little bit.
As soon as homebrew hits the fucking Nintendo Switch, that's it. I'm putting a lock on my wallet. Throw away the fucking key.
So this means you can just get any game you want for free.
Yeah, basically that's what they did with the Wii U. They did that with the Wii U.
True.
And the DS, the DSi.
Did that with the DS. Yep.
Wow.
So eventually it's gonna happen.
This isn't new to Nintendo.
Well, Nintendo already
No
like
matter how much you're trying to hide from it, or like
they're like the most profitable out of all the gaming consoles and stuff. Right?
Always,
Anyways,
usually always.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
so whatever, man. What's a couple
You know what?
millions
They're
of
not
dollars?
gonna
They'll
hurt-
jailbreak
they're
it,
not
but then
hurt
at the
by
same
this.
time, people are still gonna buy the systems.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they have mad loyal fans. Like people are still gonna buy the games and shit. But
Sucker.
it's just like low lifes like us. They're gonna fucking bootleg shit.
I mean, honestly, as we grow up more and we make more money,
We don't give
I
a
don't
fuck.
even care about bootlegging anymore. I just
Yeah.
buy the real thing. Like when I was a
Yeah.
kid, I'd
Bootleg
I'd bootleg everything, but now I'm like,
The more money I make,
I
the
don't really
more I want
care.
to save it. So
It depends how hard it is to jailbreak.
it is. It depends how
Like-
hard it is.
Because time is money, right? So if it's very complicated, then like not good. I don't even have a Switch. I don't even know why.
Okay, well, y'all, if y'all have a Switch, anyone have a Switch, look out for that jailbreak. Listen, if you guys are heads, if you guys love cracking your consoles, look out for that.
I wonder if Meek Mill has Switch.
Yikes. Okay, we moving back. We moving
Speaking
back.
of jailbreak,
Yikes! Ooh. Speaking of jailbreak, listen, Philadelphia is going off because
John
Meek,
always has those one-liners, man.
Meek Mill was released from prison. A lot of people are like, "Halla fucking luya." A lot of people are like, "Who the hell cares?" I think it's huge for the city of Philadelphia because listen, it's like that's their Drake, okay? That's like their dude, you know what I mean? And he made it out of prison. We expect a lot of cool music to come out. We expect him to get back in the booth.
I wanted to hear those prison tracks, yo. Like the
Did he have
Tupac,
prison tracks?
the Tupac.
Yes, prison songs.
No, I don't know, but like, I wanted to
He
hear
might as well.
those.
He's in there for a while, right? So
Wait, wasn't that a movie, Prison Songs?
Is
Or
there?
no,
That's
no.
a movie. I love prison song.
Oh god.
I
Here we
love
go.
that movie.
Is that a movie?
Q-Tip.
Q-Tip was in it.
Yeah.
Real millennial.
That's why I said.
Yo, if you guys don't know
Prison
about
Song.
Prison Song, check out Prison Song. That was on BET Black Cinema Night, like every week. They didn't even have movies to play. It was just Prison Song.
Damn.
Anyway,
Gotta check that out.
Meek Mill out of prison, so hopefully we're gonna get some new music from him.
Yeah, man. Shoutouts to Meek Mill, man. I love that
man.
dude.
Celebrate. He was at the games. The first night he got out of prison, he was at the game and he was dinging the bell or some shit. Y'all saw the footage of him dinging the bell. I have no
Like-
idea what the hell that means, but he was literally dinging the bell at the basketball game.
Meek Mill makes harder music than Drake. And
Yeah, definitely. Like
Not
yeah.
better, harder.
Harder, yeah.
Okay, and I think we do need that. I think we need that.
You got those hype tracks, you know, that you can get you hype. You know, that street vibe. Listen to some
Is
Meek
there
Mill.
prison songs? Now I'm looking for.
No, I was just.
Yo, I wanna watch
probably
that
not.
shit.
Like they're like a prison
I'm watching that
freestyle.
Yeah, like Meek Mill did a "Ain't nobody visit but I'm up in the." You know what I mean? Anyway, shout out to Meek Mill. Yo,
how long ago was that? How long was that Drake and that whole Meek Mill thing? It was like a couple years ago.
2
Like,
years.
it
That was
was
like 3 years
back
ago,
to back,
probably.
like 3
Probably
years.
3 years ago.
You know what
3
pisses
years.
me off about that is like everyone who never listened to a Meek Mill track in their life, or
was like,
yeah, like oh Meek Mill
Yo,
got murdered, he
fuck Meek
sucks.
Mill, yeah.
Go listen to his songs, bro,
his
and
songs
tell
are
me
pretty
he's not
good. His
good.
songs
Meek
are
Mill's
good.
great. He's got huge bangers.
He is.
House party's sick.
Speaking of
Yo, speaking of rappers, listen, the J. Cole album dropped. We all got some time to
Hey!
digest it. Okay.
Oh,
There's bare tracks on this thing. This guy came with like the woke / Gen Z / trap. Like he covered every aspect, every niche. Like he got the college kids
And out of nowhere.
out of nowhere.
I didn't even know he had this potential.
Crazy.
Like, he wasn't even on my radar before this. Like,
really, J. Cole is.
Why?
J. Cole's an artist.
The previous
bro. He's-
albums were like
Ah,
on
no.
par with this.
These
It's
are
not
on par,
like this is
yeah.
not a better work than what he's done before. It's on
Yo,
par.
it's a different
I don't
style.
It's a different
I don't know
style.
about
well,
that.
he has me as a fan now.
So
Like-
you didn't like the what Forest Hills Drive? What was the other
I
one?
don't
So
really
it was
like
okay.
Forest Hill
It was
Drive.
okay.
I don't
Like,
really
it-
like-
I
he's
mean,
coming so hard.
He's
now.
coming so
Like,
crazy
he's coming
right now.
so crazy.
Like, this is the
It's like-
vibe I want.
No,
from him.
he's just talking about things that are taking shots at the guys that you don't like.
But he
That
has a,
hip hop heads don't like.
he has a different bounce this time though,
Yeah.
right? With his tracks,
Mm-hmm.
they're way
He's going harder.
yeah, for sure.
In
yeah.
his other tracks, it's like,
It's
you
more
know,
like
it's so
it's
like
like-
read a book and do your
It's
studies.
like telling a story kind of thing. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
he's like out the gate, just.
But
busting.
he's still teaching.
He's
though.
still woke. That's what I'm
He's
saying.
still dropping knowledge, but he has a bounce.
He's
to him.
mixing that trap, those beats, like those.
You know what he did on this album? He took the flow from what the SoundCloud rappers,
Right.
the kids who are on drugs, air
Yeah,
quotes,
yeah.
drugs, and sipping lean, and I don't know,
Zans.
all that shit, all the prescription
Sipping
shit.
Zans.
He took their flows and
popping
he shot it right back at them.
Yeah.
He
with
kind of
his
told them
views
what
on
this
it.
should be. You're gonna have a sick beat.
Yeah,
You're gonna have some sick lyrics with it.
But he changed his message though. That's
yeah.
the thing.
He's like, I can take your guys' movement and make it a positive thing.
and make it better.
Make it better.
Make it better. Yeah.
And that's what he's doing.
And I think Torontonians can appreciate that sound because I don't think I've seen, and you guys can disagree, but can't remember the last time Drake said something like influential with this style. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Drake is usually like, he's coming up with shit like nice for what? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, sure, that shit's a hitter.
Drake's not the type of dude to
it's
take.
sort of shallow, but
It
it's
is.
still good.
It's still great.
It's still good. But he has a certain lane. That's what Drake has.
Yeah.
He can't take the Kendrick lane because Kendrick has that lane. He has
Yeah.
a super woke lane, right?
Right.
And then I feel that J. Cole is in the middle of Drake and Kendrick.
Kendrick.
Like his type of style, it's still catchy,
Yeah.
but it's still woke
Right.
at the same time. It's not super this way, super that way.
True.
It's like right in the middle. And I feel he really nailed it with this album. So.
Yeah, man. So it was interesting. It was an excellent way to introduce the summer. This album, KOD by J. Cole. Listen, if you haven't heard it yet, go check it out. It's on Apple Music, Spotify, all that shit. SoundCloud, YouTube, everywhere. It's everywhere now.
Speaking of new albums too, Kanye's dropping an album as well.
Yikes.
June 1st.
Yes.
Seven songs in it, and he's also working on a project with Kid Cudi called Kids See Ghosts.
And apparently he's also producing a Nas album.
The Nas announcement. So basically, Kanye West
Kanye is going off right now.
is
man.
back. He's out of his cage. You know, he's out of his sunken place.
He's also doesn't want cameras in his house with Kim Kardashian and all that stuff.
Yeah.
He doesn't want any cameras in the house because he's producing. He doesn't want anything.
Right.
Leaking.
He doesn't want leaking. He doesn't want anyone to see anything.
He doesn't want leakage.
So basically, a couple of days ago, Kanye went off on Twitter. He started announcing all this new music he was going to be working on. Nas, Kid Cudi, Pusha, all these collabs. And listen, it's typical Kanye fashion to fucking come and just shit on everyone's couch
Yeah.
right before he releases music. This dude is out here. He gained a whole bunch of weight. He's wearing "Make America Great Again" hats.
That's a whole nother subject,
He's
man.
chilling with Donald Trump.
He
and just chilling with Republicans.
he dyed his hair like a couple months ago,
Blonde.
That was a long time
That was
ago.
a long time.
That was a
Oh,
couple
yeah?
months ago, right?
No, I don't know.
I think the blonde
He's
hair
just
he's
been
had
s-
for a minute.
He's been staying out of the spotlight,
yeah,
so we don't know.
let's just say a lot of weird
when
shit's
he's
been
done.
going on with Kanye West.
It is. We heard like how Kim Kardashian's mom is like his manager now. What the fuck is going on, man?
This guy's
I don't
a
believe
fucking
that.
cult,
I don't
man.
believe that. I don't think he likes.
Speaking of like Kanye's Twitter, go to his Twitter page. This guy is tweeting like 20, 30 tweets a day.
A day.
And like
Yeah.
paragraphs. And he's just going off, just speaking his mind. Like he's just, like...
I have nothing to say.
People are upset. I'm gonna let Booth pop his shit.
No,
but
I don't have nothing to say.
people are upset that
Shit.
people are, and I think listen, this goes into our next, which should be our next topic, but people are upset that Kanye and like these black, these heavily influential black rappers who have been closely tied to the black community in America are now kind of showing their right wing side, their Republican side, and it's becoming such a big thing. Like, how could Kanye be a Republican, right? When you listen to Graduation, and then you listen to fucking... Not even, like, you listen to Graduation, and then you look at all the stuff he's doing now, it's like a huge contrast.
Yeah,
The sound
yeah,
is
yeah.
different. The direction is different. His image is different. And I only take this so personally and importantly because Kanye is a musical genius. He's been with me almost like half of my life. You know
But
what I'm saying?
respects, I mean, whatever, he's supporting Donald Trump, but respects for him for just,
Doing him.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
not being shy about it, just putting it out there.
Yeah. One of the tweets he said was like, I'm being myself, or like Kanye's being Kanye's to celebrate you, be you. And that kind of resonated with me, and it's like, if you can't be you, then You know what I'm
So
saying?
he's posting shit like that on Twitter like all day.
Right.
Those kind of like quotes and shit.
I think that resonated with me. So yo, definitely looking forward to the summer. Bear collabs, Bear albums, especially for hip hop.
Drake album's coming out too.
Drake albums coming out. Scorpion.
Oh yeah, June.
Scorpion, yeah.
June, right? That's June as well.
I think so.
Insane.
June 2018.
There's
Summer is gonna be a big summer.
music
It's
this
gonna be a
year,
big
yeah.
summer.
A lot of music. Okay, so we cover music, but yo, some crazy news dropped today, and I mentioned this on like the last bit of the podcast a couple weeks ago. Right before Booth ended it, I was like, "Yo, Bill Cosby," and we cut it short.
Yeah.
So basically, we've learned today that Bill Cosby, after being retried several times, is now being convicted. He was convicted, actually, for 3 counts of sexual assault, and he hasn't been sentenced as of yet, but he's liable to serve 30 years. Okay? Now, Bill Cosby's 80 years old right now, and
And he's blind.
he's blind.
He's also blind.
Partially blind?
I think he is like blind now.
He's partially, probably
Or is
partially.
probably mostly partially blind, but he's getting there, right?
I mean, he's old.
He is old.
It's agreeable that he's suffering from things in old age, and I think when I saw, excuse me, when I saw this article,
I'm legally blind. He's gonna pull that card.
I'm legally blind. Apparently, when he got sentenced by the judge, he started like cussing at her and shit.
No, so
Oh shit.
something said somebody said something about him having a private plane, and he said he does not have a private plane, asshole, or something.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like he
because-
literally said nothing during the whole trial,
No
but
way.
when they claimed that he had a private plane, he spoke up. He's like, I don't. Well, he referred to himself in the third person. I don't know why.
Oh, Bill Cosby does not have a private plane.
No, he's like he does not have a plane.
Oh, he said
private
he.
plane.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
he is completely blind.
Yikes.
Really?
He is.
So he can't see? Nothing?
Apparently not.
Well, just to fill you
Since
guys
when?
in on
Last
the
year.
details of the conviction. So basically, convicted today, 3 counts of sexual assault. The prosecution is submitting to the judge that they want to deny him $1 million bail. So basically, if he puts up $1 million, he's out on bail until he's sentenced, and then he'll be serving jail time. So they don't even want to give him bail under the risk that because he owns his private plane, he's gonna flee the country and fly out of the country.
Okay.
Crazy. They pinned him to the ground, Bill Cosby. I think it's hard for us to kind of digest this because I love the fucking Cosby Show. I grew up watching the Cosby Show. My older brother and sister used to watch the Cosby Show. I learned a lot of things from the Cosby Show, you know, and I think I'm also upset because we got Kevin Spacey, Donald Trump, Harvey Weinstein, all these other white dudes, all these other rich white dudes finessing.
But those guys are different. Bill Cosby was like America's dad, you know? Like,
Right,
it's
but
hard
how
to
they're different
take-
is that they get away scot-free and Bill Cosby's being convicted.
Well, those guys got away?
Well, have they been convicted? No.
Aren't they still in trial or whatever?
There have been no...
Harvey
there's been
Weinstein.
No.
You got off?
There's no trial.
Well,
There's
he
been-
hasn't been convicted.
He hasn't even been arrested. Nothing. There's
So
no-
these are all just...
They're all
just-
no one
allegations.
took
They're
it.
just investigations.
They're
That's it.
allegations.
They're all
yeah.
allegations, right?
Oh.
It's like they
Right.
actually jumped on this. I mean,
Like who wouldn't? If
fucking
no money.
whatever, man. Bill
Yeah.
Cosby, he fucked up. I mean, that's just what.
Yeah.
But
what
he also
happened.
he
I mean,
also
they
didn't
should.
deny it either,
Well,
right?
Bill Cosby should have actually been caught with more of these because there was a bunch of... He was in trial before and that was a mistrial, right?
Yeah, and they
So
acquitted him.
he got off pretty light considering all the other
It
accusations.
was the same trial though. They retried. They're retrying him for the same woman who
Aren't these
accused
new?
him.
These are new people.
And actually, his accuser is from Toronto.
Really?
Yeah, the
one of them,
victim
yeah.
is from Toronto.
Oh,
She's
shit.
from Ajax.
So
Crazy.
this happened here? Like the whole
It didn't
thing?
happen here. She was interning with him or something. Like, I don't know, sorry. She attended one of his universities and met him. And then when she met him, this is when he has allegedly put something in her drink.
Oh, I
Drugged her.
see.
Crazy.
Craziness.
Nuts. So it definitely relates back to Torontonians. Check that out. That story is going to be developing, so we'll definitely fill you in. I mean, I know I feel strongly about this. I don't know why. But yeah, man.
It's just
Um,
surprising that it was Bill Cosby.
It is. It sucks. But I do want justice to be served for all the other rich white males who have been implicated. So I hope justice is equally served. But yeah, man. Yeah. So yo, I think we're gonna wrap it up for this week. This was episode 13.
Thanks
Listen.
for having me. Obviously, it was always fun. It's always fun coming here.
Yes, thank you for rocking with us, Fugo. Again, we got Boothmatic, we got Fugo. Insta Jam, John David,
Yo.
and your boy V. But now I'm Vishal because no one
Let's
likes
go
V,
Raptors.
The
apparently.
Raptors, because all our teams lost.
Oh,
Yeah, man.
no one
Yeah,
likes
it's all of our teams lost. Maple Leafs lost.
Shout
Jays lost.
out to the Leafs.
Jays are still there, but
Losing, I don't know, man. Losing in hockey is heartbreaking. I don't know why.
especially Game 7 and lose so badly.
I feel like there's more of a camaraderie in hockey and like they're battling out there, giving it their all.
Honestly.
No, fuck the Raptors. This series should have been swept. I don't know why.
The TFC was playing too.
They lost,
TFC,
though,
yeah.
last week.
TFC actually lost in a shootout. and
Yeah, that's their fault. I think it was their
The
fault.
guy taking, I mean, sorry to all the TFC fans out there because I'm really like dumbing this down because I don't even know all the details, but the guy was taking the penalty kick to tie the game. It went to penalty shootout.
Yeah.
Which, first of all, let me speak on
They didn't
penalty
have to.
shootout. I hate anything that goes to a shootout. It should just be goal and goal.
Losing
You
by
know what I
shootout
mean?
sucks.
Stupid. Even when you play games of FIFA. So this guy went up to take his penalty kick and he shot it in the fucking air.
Oh my goodness, what?
And then that's how they lost.
Pretty much.
He completely missed in that.
Sounds so
That
shitty. Exactly.
Okay, so yeah, man. Booth is kicking me. Booth is kicking me, telling me to wrap it up. Yo.
He's like lyric.
Yeah.
Why don't you just say, wrap it up, bitch?
I'm not even fucking saying anything. Anyways, guys, thanks for rocking with us. It's 13th episode. Catch
Yo.
us next week.
Check us out on YouTube, Instagram, all that YouTube-y shit, all that social media
YouTube-y shit.
all that YouTube-y shit. Blueface gonna say that. Yo, episode 13. Thanks for rocking with us, man, and we out.
All right,
Peace.